It's the 202.
It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202.
This is how we do when we party in the 202.
It's the 202.
Hello, everyone. Coming up on the 202, we know songwriters get inspiration from all kinds of things, right? But after one musician went rolling on the river, he wrote an entire album about the Anacostia. Brent and Company is with us today.
And speaking of the Anacostia, a DC businesswoman is going green and making history by opening the city's first medical marijuana dispensary east of the river. Also, things get a little dicey but delicious at today's chef's table. But the man who can really slice and dice a killer remix on the turntable is our buddy, DJ Derrick Michaels.
I do it without the blaze. I do it without the blaze.
Oh, you do it?
I do it without the blaze.
That's right.
That's why I sound so hot.
I know, sounds good. I appreciate that. What's happening?
How you feeling?
I'm all good.
You
Fresh
looking
back
good.
from Miami.
Oh, nice weather.
Smooth.
Nice weather.
But we had some nice weather here for a little bit, but you
It's
know,
all right. It's
DC's always up and down.
It don't mix with what we got cooking over there.
Oh, I love it. The artist is Brent Peterson. The band is Brent and Company. The river is the Anacostia.
Now, all three came together on a unique album that's a musical love letter to a troubled historic river. Here's Brent and Company with Float Away.
Moving on down the river, 200 years come and gone. Coming around the corner to our Chinese garden, hickey aluminum bars. 'Cause I wanna run through the gardens of your capital, rest with you beneath an dogwood tree. A name for you in azalea, so gonna fall and sweet. Darling, won't you float away with me? Under a highway breathing with graffiti reading. Arboretum, here we come. Let's tie up there and we'll watch our stepping. How quickly to become one, yeah. I wanna run through the gardens of your capital, rest with you beneath an dogwood tree. I will aim for you in azalea, so colorful and sweet. Darling, won't you float away? Yeah. Float away with me. Float away with me. Float away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Float away with me. Float away with me.
As the medical marijuana industry continues to bloom, many black entrepreneurs fear being left behind in the green rush.
But for one local woman, having the mayor of DC show up for the ribbon cutting of your legal cannabis dispensary means that you're now officially in business. Check this out.
We have been very, I think, strategic and smart about how we regulated and rolled out medical cannabis in Washington, D.C. And we have been very mindful of how our residents are using medical cannabis in Washington, D.C. And as I did when I was on the council and now as mayor, I am committed to upholding the will of D.C. voters in making sure not only can they have medical cannabis, but adults in Washington, D.C. can take advantage of recreational cannabis as well.
Wow.
Linda Green. Welcome.
CEO and owner of Anacostia Organics.
Yes,
Thank
thank you. I'm just elated to be here.
Wow. What made you want to get into the cannabis business?
Yeah, I get asked that a lot because my career was actually in public relations, government relations, and I was chief of staff to Marion Barry, and
Yes.
which is my proudest position in life.
Wow.
But just doing the research with a couple of girlfriends just casually over dinner, said, we need to look into that because DC is now has cannabis legally in DC. And we started doing the research only to find out that all the licenses were already awarded.
Oh.
And so there were 10 cannabis licenses awarded to cultivate, which is what I really wanted to cultivate. In DC, unlike other states, if you're the cultivator, you manufacture, process, and lab test. And once I found that door was closed, I said, well, let's look at a dispensary license. And we found that 5 dispensary licenses had been given out, and then further looked at the data, and at that time it was 25% of the medical marijuana card holders were from Ward 7 and 8, and they didn't have access to that medication. And so I said, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go after a dispensary, and I have too much Marion Barry in me not to know how to do it. So I worked with the council staff and the mayor's staff and helped write legislation for it to be emergency legislation for the Department of Health to open a process to allow at least one dispensary east of the river, so it just even the playing ground there.
Linda Green, you helped to write the legislation.
Yes.
And wow.
Well, you learn how to do that when you're working in politics and in the government, and particularly as chief of staff.
So not only was it a good business decision, but it was a good sort of social good because of that need in Anacostia. But what I'm always interested in is how fast things go. Once legal marijuana was legalized for medical reasons, things just sort of, like you said, 10 of the licenses, were already given out. But I'm always surprised at how fast things are moving, not only in D.C., but across the country.
Oh my. It's rapidly, not only across the country, around the world.
Yeah.
There, Canada has gone totally legal. Mexico has a legalization. South Korea just went totally legal. Lesotho in Africa is totally legal. But now we have 33 states in the United States that have legal marijuana, and then 9 plus the District of Columbia for recreational. My estimate is that by 2020, the whole country will have some form of legalization of marijuana.
Wow. So this dispensary, this place, is it set up like a cafe?
Not exactly, no. Not exactly, because we're still all medicinal. My place is beautiful. It really is. It looks like an Apple store. It's really, I want Ward 8 to have the best it can have.
Wow.
So you have to have a medical marijuana card to enter.
So people can't just come and hang out?
No, they cannot come and hang out, and
a
security is in place and all types of checks and balances to make sure that your card is valid and you have not exceeded your allotment for the month. But we also have reciprocity with 17 states, which I was influential in helping get passed in the city as well. So because you have to look at it, we have 1 million people that come in from Virginia and Maryland every day.
Okay.
Right. They have to leave their medications at home because it is illegal to cross state lines.
State lines.
It's still federally illegal. It's a Schedule I drug.
Yeah.
So we have 20 million tourists that come into our city every year. We have kids with epilepsy and all different types of diseases, people with cancer. They can't take their medications while they're here.
Wow.
So we're working on just opening it up. If you have a medical marijuana card anywhere, you can get your medications in our city.
We want to talk to you later about investing.
Okay.
Up next, a unique place where visiting musicians and other celebrities like to check into when they want to be incognito in D.C.
And later, your 2 official food ambassadors make a visit to the chef's table. The 202 will be right back. Stay there.
It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202.
Welcome back to the 202. Now, when Furman and I got an invite to hang out at the mansion on O Street, we weren't quite sure what to expect. Sure, we'd heard it was a unique luxury boutique hotel, but not much else.
Well, when Michelle and I walked into the mansion, we stepped into one of the most unique properties in the world. Not only chock full of hidden doors, secret passages, music and art treasures, but also visiting celebrity guests who we couldn't help bumping into.
Hey, you. Prince, the
Yes.
Eagles, the Stones,
Yeah.
they've all, and Esperanza Spalding, they'll all come,
Yes.
they'll work on their music. You can be sitting, you can be a hotel guest or here for an event, and they might be sitting at the piano or on the sofa working on a song.
First time I went there, my eyes were like this.
I like this room, yeah.
Just have to go there. I mean, there's no way I can really describe it.
And it's amazing because there's something in every corner.
We have the dress that Audrey Hepburn wore in My Fair Lady at the Races. That's one of the most recognizable dresses in movie history.
Yeah, it's great. You know, you come in this door, you walk in here, and it gives, you know, how can you not feel welcome? When you go up the stairs, and right away, as you're going up the stairs, you go, ah, they're the ones that bought it. Well, I got married here in 2005, so it's a very, very special place. And when I'm anywhere, I'm close to D.C., you'll find me here.
When I walked into the house for the first time, I saw the images of what it was going to be.
Oh, my.
The mansion is a museum, a private club, trying to find your way around, trying to find secret doors, hopefully finding some so you get to see a whole nother house. And they all have a purpose, and they're not easy to find. 5 interconnected townhouses, as old as 1892, and as new as 1985. We do dinners, weddings, parties, corporate retreats, concerts, magic shows, anything you can imagine. So over about a 10-year period, Mrs. Rosa Parks lives here with us in this house. Bob Dylan signed this guitar when he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This piece of art is unique. Everybody knows Jimi Hendrix as a guitar player, but he was also an artist.
Let me go up here.
But when you come to the mansion, you have no idea what's behind that next door.
Wine! It's wine! probably seen her food trucks around town or at a kiosk in Union Market.
But today, the owner of DC Empanada has brought her bold flavors and Latin flair to our chef's table. Welcome, Anna Bran-Leis.
Bran-Leis.
Is that correct, Bran-Leis?
That is correct. Thank you.
All right. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Tell us about empanadas. What makes an empanada different from a quesadilla?
Well, empanadas are completely different than quesadillas. Empanadas are traditionally, you roll out the dough, you cook the filling separately, you fill them, you seal them, and then you recook the entire thing again, either baked or fried, depending on what region you're from. And quesadillas are generally flour tortillas with various meats that you can just put inside, and you don't have to go through the third process of recooking it again.
Frying again.
Right.
Is the batter always the same between
Well,
the two?
no, there's not.
Okay.
These are tortillas. So these are not empanadas. These are quesadillas that we have at my restaurant, Taqueria del Barrio. And we actually do have the empanadas there as well. So.
Okay, you have both. Awesome.
Yes, we do. We have
Awesome.
both.
But you also have a truck?
We have a food truck, DC
Yes.
Empanadas, yes.
Oh.
Scooting all around the city. Do you have some loyal customers now that follow
We
you?
do. I mean, like, we were one of the first 10 food trucks in the city. So
Wow.
before there were 350 food trucks, we were we helped found the Food Truck Association and craft the current food truck regulations. So we were part of that whole process.
When did you actually open the restaurant?
The restaurant we opened a year and almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where is it located?
We are on Upshur Street at 821 Upshur Street, right in the heart of Petworth.
Petworth. That's where I grew up.
I love that.
That's my hood.
Love that.
It's a great
But you know,
neighborhood.
I bet it's really much more fun to drive around in the food truck, especially in the warmer weather.
Well, I'll tell you. So my husband and I started DC Empanadas together, and we were the only two employees originally.
Okay.
So we spent way too much time in a 10 by 10 box together in the lovely summertime.
Brings you closer together.
Honey, pass me the chicken.
Yeah, I mean, like, we literally have about this much room in a food truck.
Oh my goodness.
That's how much room Michelle and I have when we're doing the show. But while you're talking, you know, I'm always ready to eat.
Let's talk about the food. What do you have?
Don't I sound
I'm gonna make. So we made some lovely quesadillas, chicken quesadillas.
Okay.
And one of the things that we top it with is guacamole. So guacamole is one of those favorite, awesome, super easy to make things.
Yes.
That people tend to buy pre-jarred and made, and I don't know why, because it's so easy.
I can't imagine anybody doing that. Come on.
It's super easy to make. It's one of those things that, you know, if you know how, it takes 5 minutes to get it all out there.
Wow.
So, you know, we start with some aguacate, and I put it in a molcajete, which is this guy, like a mortar and pestle situation.
Okay.
That way you can control what the texture becomes. It doesn't become too mushy, like if you put it in a food processor, and it doesn't become, you know, it's not too chunky. Whereas if you chop the avocado itself, it can be too chunky.
Okay.
And as you can see, perfectly ripe avocado. The way you can tell that,
How can you tell?
super easy. I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
So not only is it the color from the outside, but it's nice. You feel the texture.
Let's see.
But if you if you see what I did,
It kind of gives a little bit.
I took this out, and you look right there. You see the color of that?
Yes. Yes.
That's the color of what your avocado looks like inside.
Oh. We've been buying it all wrong.
Now we
Buying it all
know.
wrong.
Now we know.
So yeah, you know, you just take your knife around, super easy. There you go. Scoop it right out. Get the pulp right out.
Avocado out.
Yeah.
And talk about some of these other
Yeah,
ingredients
absolutely.
on the table.
So
You make that seem so easy.
it is. It's super easy. Guac is the easiest thing in the world to make. Like I said, very easy. You put a little bit of onion,
Fresh onion,
a little bit of
okay.
fresh onion,
White onion.
a little bit of. Do you like heat?
Yes.
Okay, so this is
Jalapeno?
These are a little bit of chopped jalapenos. You leave the seeds in if you like it really hot.
Yeah, we like it
yeah,
hot.
all right.
Spicy.
Spicy. Girl after my own heart. Do you like tomatoes? Because it's
Yes,
all a
love
matter of
tomatoes.
personal
Yes.
preference.
Yeah.
So you can put whatever you like in there. So we're going to throw a little bit of tomato in there.
Anna, we're going to have some of everything. So.
Yes, we are. All right. So
Put it all in
cilantro. Some people do not care for cilantro, but I'm a big fan.
I like
Okay.
it.
Great. So we'll throw some cilantro. We have to throw a little bit of acid so that your avocados don't oxidize and turn black in there. So we put some tomato juice, and then a little bit of salt.
Let's look at one of these tortillas?
It's a quesadilla.
A quesadilla.
Yeah, would you?
So what's in it? What's in it?
It has chicken, chicken tinga, it has cheese, it has grilled onions, and it has grilled peppers.
All right, TV hubby is very hungry.
All right. Well, TV hubby, go ahead.
Thank you. She looks after me.
So once we've done that, it's super easy. You just take this guy here.
Yummy. Oh, you want some of this on top of it, don't you?
Yeah, you do. See?
Okay.
And all you do is pound that down like that until it's nice and creamy and blended together.
Oh, awesome.
Just like that.
Wow.
Put a little bit of salt over the top. Make sure you got a little bit of flavor. And then, et voila, you have guac. And
Nice.
Put a little bit.
A little bit of smear on there.
A little smear
Little
on
smear
there.
on
A little
there.
smear on
Thank you for the
there.
smear.
Yes.
And yeah, you can do that with any kind of salsa you want.
I would love to. I don't want green all in my teeth.
I hear you.
She uses me for the guinea pig, but that's okay because this is delicious. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope
so
you
much.
enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. Thank
So
you.
much. When we come back, more of the musical styling of Brent and Company.
But first, a take on how to create your own unique image.
Here's some sage advice for a little extra style with Michelle Lopez.
So you get an invitation in the mail and the dress code says formal. Well, formal doesn't have to be conservative, nor does it have to be dull. It can be fun and fabulous. And if the invitation says cocktail attire, you don't have to necessarily go to that little black dress that you always do in your closet. You can wear satin, you can wear sequin, you can wear lace. It's really about making an entrance and owning who you are. Signature dresses in Georgetown seems to cover everything that a fabulous girl could want.
If you're looking for a cocktail fabulous dress to the most magnificent dress that you want to go to the biggest gala or to the simplest party, we do have it all. Is not a person who comes here and doesn't feel like a princess.
See what I'm saying?
And then it's a show.
Oh, I love it. I'm so glad you brought me here. From formal to funky and fabulous, it's all just a little extra style with Michelle Lopez.
It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202.
Back with us, a talented young artist creates an album completely devoted to one of DC's historic yet troubled natural assets.
Again, what makes this album unique is that a river runs through it. Brent, first of all, it must have been a major undertaking. You not only researched this thing, but wrote songs that sort of described everything about the Anacostia. How long did it take?
Well, it was a real labor of love, but when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. So it took about a couple months of just exploring the river myself on a canoe with any friend that was willing and able to go out in the morning. And then I read a few choice books that focused just on the river's history. And that gave me enough to start off with just 5 songs to kind of give a primer on the very rich history that takes place on the river.
Wow, the Anacostia is something that's indicative of DC, really. And when you think of it, you really don't think of anything calm and serene that makes you want to escape and get on a canoe to ride it. I mean, that was such a vivid picture you painted with the music, with the imagery. Tell us what you learned writing that Anacostia. What else you learned?
Certainly. Just how far back the river goes in really what it says about our nation's history. You know, long before the country was colonized, that was the home to the Nacotchtank Indians, who lent their name to the river and the surrounding communities. And then once settlers started arriving, it was one of the earliest places where tobacco took hold as a cash crop. Wow. But as that brought wealth, that also brought the beginning of the degradation of the river. They lost all the topsoil. The river used to be 40 feet deep going all the way up to Bladensburg, Maryland. So it was actually Bladensburg, Maryland was the second largest seaport on the East Coast at the late colonial era. Whoa. True fact.
You know everything about this.
Really got into it. But after 20 years of that port being open, they had to close it. It silted in due to all the soil that was lost due to overproduction of tobacco. Wow. So shows kind of the highs and lows. That
you got us wanting more. We want to learn more about the Anacostia
but first,
and hear more music.
Tell
us
who's
with you, the band members.
Certainly. Well, over here on saxophone, we have the band's most stylish band member, Mr. Derrick Michaels.
Hi, Derrick.
And right here on the low end, we got Mr. Joe Martone.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, Michelle and I are going to get out of your way and
thank you so much.
Take it away.
Imagine me in my high top skates. Low down we rockin', baby, spinning circles. I want you to walk with me by the riverside. Oh, I'm still spinning, baby, on this lovely night. All your sexy moves, your sweet perfume, well, it's got me in the mood, yeah. Sunsets low, blow down. Well, you tell me, darling, where you wanna go? Oh, won't you walk with me by the riverside? I'm still spitting, baby, on this lovely night. All your sexy moves, your sweet perfume, well, it's got me in the mood, yeah. One more time, all your sexy moves, your sweet perfume, it's got me in the mood, yeah.
Terrific. Thank you so much.
Brent
so much.
Peterson, Brent and Company, thank you.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
very much.
Thank you so much.
Big thanks to our guest today, and of course, thanks to my co-host, Michelle Wright.
And thanks to DJ Dirty Rico, and thanks to all of you for watching. Furman and I will see you again next time on the 202.
This the 202. This the 202.
This is how we do when we party in the 202. Hey.
Home of that good live music. Live on set, live audience approves it. The best hosts that don't get no tighter. Furman and Michelle can't get no righter. Taxation, no representation. But the 202 reppin' for the capital nation. So from 703 to the 301. Yeah, we all come to have some fun. It's the 202.
It's the 202. This the 202.
It's the 202.
This is how we do when we party in the 202.
It's the 202.
This the 202. This the 202.
It's the 202. It's the 202.